We are live. Welcome to another exciting edition of Appalachain Mountain Wrestling Hour with Superfly John Lee and Kyle Maggard. Kyle, why don't you let the people know what's happening November 2nd?
Well, Johnny Lee, I can tell you what's happening. One of the biggest wrestling events in the history of Lexington is happening on November the 2nd right there at the Ice Center. Let me make sure I get all this stuff shared out. Tune in now.
Same as well.
Live on the Nice Guy Indie Podcast.
Sharing that as well because it's going to be a big time. I'd suggest to everyone that hasn't been to an Appalachian Mountain Wrestling event, come on out to Appalachian Mountain Wrestling Ice Center November 2nd because you're going to see some of the best professional wrestling you've ever witnessed in the state of Kentucky.
That's right, Johnny Lee.
November 2nd. What's happening November 2nd?
What the heck?
What's happening November 2nd? What's happening November 2nd? Is that?
That's my phone.
November 2nd. But that's exactly right. We got
me tripping balls.
Yeah, I know, right? Also, shout out to the tripping balls that we know from Twitter, aka Brent Turner.
Oh, look at that segue right into it. You're welcome there, big guy. Shout out to you.
That's right. And you know what? They should definitely be checking out because huge names going to be there. As you just announced on the Appalachian Mountain Wrestling page, we just found out that Jeff Jarrett himself will be there for a meet and greet before the actual event. And not only that, but he will be in action in a 6-man tag team match. That's right. Huge.
Yeah, that's huge because Johnny Lee, I don't know, everybody out there watching knows about Jeff Jarrett, but Jeff Jarrett doesn't do a lot of independent professional wrestling events. And, he picks and chooses who he does business with, who he works with, what rings he competes in. And, we've talked to Jeff, and the only place in Kentucky Jeff wants to be is Appalachian Mountain Wrestling.
Heck yeah. And as he should, because Appalachian Mountain Wrestling is the hottest that's ever been right now in the year 2025. Y'all been having knockdown, drag-out shows since the beginning of this year.
Yeah, Johnny, it's man, it's been a good year. Let's just say that. You've had some of the best matches, some of the biggest stars, sold out crowds. Nobody's putting asses in seats like us.
That's right.
So,
Johnny Sway says, "What's up, Kyle Maggard?" And Timmy Griffin said, "Hello, Kyle."
Some of the biggest stars. Well, shoot. Shouldn't let me have a phone.
Hey, it's understandable. Sometimes technology does that to you. But that's big because Jeff Jarrett is going to be here November 2nd, and he's going to be not only wrestling, but he will be meeting the fans and greeting them and signing autographs.
That's right. From 4 to 6 p.m., he'll be doing a special meet and greet. Now, Johnny Lee, you can get in at 4 o'clock if you have the VIP front row ticket.
That's right.
If you have a ringside ticket, we'll let you in at 4:30. And general admission, you get in at 5 o'clock. Now, why is that information important, you ask? You were about to ask it. I could see it all over your face.
That's right.
Well, because you're going to have Jeff Jarrett, and we've not mentioned Rhino.
Woo.
Former ECW World Champion, former NWA World Champion, former WWE Tag Team Champions with Heath Slater. Yep. He's the first ever, if I'm not mistaken, Hardcore Champion too, but him and Heath are the first ever SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. So, Rhino's going to be there, but based on what tickets you have is what time you get to get into the meet and greet. So, if you got the VIP ticket, you get in and you get to line up and meet these guys first. So you get to be ahead of the pack. Then, you've obviously got the best seat in the house. You're in the front row seat. Ringside, you got a 30-minute window that you got to sit out there and watch them VIPs go through the door. Hey, you should have bought VIP. I'm sorry. So then you get to go through the door. And you general admission holders, hey, you got to wait an hour. So Now, what that does, Johnny Lee, is those guys getting in at 4 o'clock and 4:30, they have a better opportunity to line up, meet Jeff Jarrett, meet Rhino, because bell time's 6 o'clock.
That's right.
So at 6 o'clock, the meet and greet's over. So if you didn't get there and if you're VIP and you're not lining up to be in the front of the line, you go straight in and you sit down and you're thinking, well, VIP, I'm going to meet him anyways. No, you got to go get in line.
Exactly. Because you got to get it while the iron's hot. You can't just think that you're going to meet them afterwards, because this meet and greet is important. Get your VIP tickets right now. And if you don't, hey, general admission's still good, because you're still going to be seeing lots of action. And the seats, no matter how you look at it, all of them are fucking great. Charles Cohn chimed in. He said, I worked for Kyle once in a battle royal a few years ago, and having never met him, didn't recognize him. I didn't introduce myself, and I'd like to publicly apologize here.
That's probably why he's never been back. No, I mean, Charles, brother, it's all good. I'm just messing with you.
That's right. The general admission isn't a bad deal either. You may not get to meet Jeff Jarrett. You may not get to meet Rhino, but you will be sitting at great seats, because even if you're not getting front row seats, second seats, or third seats,
there's not a bad seat in the house.
Exactly.
Now, with the general admission, you still have an opportunity. If you get there right at 5 and you go ahead and get in line, I mean, I'm expecting a line all the way around the block from the number of tickets that we've sold, which VIPs are almost sold out anyways. So then the ringside, we're about halfway gone on them. Every show we do generally is right at or has been a sellout this year. And I'm not making it up. We'll go watch videos everywhere. We put all of our stuff out there for people to see.
That's right.
It is what it is. We're lucky. We got a good fan base. They follow us. We've had people come to shows. One show, Johnny Lee, we had fans from 9 different states and Canada, 10 different states, and Canada buy a ticket. We actually had a family come down and took their summer vacation to watch 2 of our shows back to back from Canada. So
they ain't bad at all either.
Many people can say they're drawing people from almost all over the country about it.
That's right.
But I mean, they're just passionate wrestling fans, and that's what everybody needs when it comes to independent pro wrestling. They need
exactly
good fans to come out and support them, because, I mean, heck, without the fans, we're not going to have any professional wrestling, Johnny Lee.
That's right. Without the fans, you're not going to be getting any traction. You're not going to be having professional wrestling, because the fans are what brings it all together. Without them, none of this would be possible. And Emily Rose said, hey, that's our intern. And OG Ugly popped in with his muscles. But yeah, that's one thing that you can say about professional wrestling. The fans are what brings it all together. Without them, AMW wouldn't be where it is right now.
That's right, and that's why we're doing events in Lexington, because we have fans from Central Kentucky that drive to Eastern Kentucky that want to watch Appalachian Mountain Wrestling. We have fans that drive. When we have shows in Tennessee and we have them in West Virginia and up in Ohio, and we've had them down in North Carolina. We've had fans from Central Kentucky come down there, and they're like, when y'all gonna come to Lexington? When y'all gonna come to Lexington? Well, on Father's Day, we came to Lexington.
Yep.
We sold out, and we made one of the biggest splashes when Carlito walked out fresh off his WWE contract. Nobody knew. Next thing I know is we're the number 2 talked about promotion behind WWE for a few weeks.
That's
right.
They're
talking about Carlito and him showing up at Appalachian Mountain Wrestling all over the world. Where I was doing interviews with people from across the pond in England and over in Australia, and so we're lucky, we're blessed, and you never know what's going to happen in an AMW event.
Exactly. And y'all got that big tag team match, which is going to be featuring the Box Office Blondes as well. I gotta say, I've been keeping up with what they've been doing, and this New South cats, they've been trying to act like they run things.
Well, that's right, Johnny Lee. They've been Tony he's trying to take over. He's weaseled himself into a little control down there, and that's okay. That's okay because on November 22nd, they're in Hazard when we have their biggest night of the year, Thanksgiving Turmoil. The main event is the War Games match, Team AMW against Team New South. And, got a big stipulation on the line. I've agreed if AMW loses, and I'm just not going to wrestle in Eastern Kentucky anymore.
Oh, no.
Or for AMW. So wherever AMW's at, then you won't see me. I mean, I'll still wrestle some, but it is what it is, I can walk. I've done enough for me. I'm happy. I'm content. I can just walk away from wrestling. We're getting ready to have our fifth baby next week. It's scheduled next week. I've got a granddaughter. Best friend's John Noble. He's retiring. His last match is November 22nd against Chris Michaels there. So, maybe it's time, Johnny Lee.
That's true.
Maybe I've been around now since 2002. Maybe it's time. I don't know.
Don't wait and know. It's November 2nd.
But that's how much I dislike Tony Presley, and I dislike everybody from New South. I'm willing to put all that on the line because we will win that War Games match. And I promise I'm going to be the one to pin Stan Sierra in that match. I'm going to make somebody bleed. I can promise you that. Probably Tony Presley. Because if I get a chance to get my hands on his scrawny ass, I'm going to.
Exactly.
Sorry, Andy.
Because all he did was he weasels himself in there. And ever since he's gotten that power, what has he done? He's made it a vendetta. Not only tear down AMW, but he's also been trying to tear down you, tear down JR, tear down the commentators, throwing his weight around. Stan Sierra joining them was a blow because he was AMW through and through. And what did he do? He chose them because, in his mind, they had the winning bastard.
Well, that's Stan Sierra. Stan Sierra's been in AMW since day one. He's been a big part of the success of AMW. Some might say the biggest part, but he is definitely one of the big reasons for the success. And I think Stan Sierra's ego couldn't handle the fact that Marty Clay pinned him and ended that 1,238-day title reign, which is the longest title reign in modern wrestling history in Kentucky.
That's right.
For people that don't know, that is the longest modern-day title reign. And you have to go back to the days of Del Mann in 70s or early 80s holding a title in Kentucky that long. And, Stan beat a list of who's who, and you got to give him his flowers in that. But I don't think Stan his ego couldn't handle Marty beating him, and he saw, Tony, and Tony told him what was up, and Stan's he's an opportunistic person, and he saw an opportunity to get back on top, and Stan took it.
Nancy Roberts said, "You better not make Stan's bleed."
Oh, Nancy, I'm going to make Stan's butt bleed when I shove my foot right up it, okay? You can take that to the bank.
Plus, the fact that he joined them right when AMW needed someone of his stature the most, that was a blow. But I've been paying attention. Just because y'all lost him doesn't mean that y'all lost the fight, because y'all got John Noble, y'all got Marty Clay, y'all got Wes Barker, y'all got plenty of people that can make Team New South look like jokes.
Well, it's funny because we're talking about, Team AMW is me and Marty and Wes Barker and the Heat Seekers. Let's not forget the Heat Seekers. 4-time NWA World Tag Team Champions, 15-year pros, or maybe even longer. My math may be off on that. They may be longer. But, that's a solid squad. And if you take a look at the graphic you've got up there, the big main event in Lexington, signed by Tony Presley, you're taking 4 of Team New South, or Team AMW, and Tony Presley's put them together in a match a couple weeks out of the War Games match. So the only reason he's doing that is because the Heat Seekers and the Freelanders have had some conflict. If you've been watching AMW Showdown,
I have,
on Tuesday nights on YouTube, shameless plug.
So which you should be checking out.
That's right. We haven't had a chance to plug that yet, so I'm going to go ahead and segue into that. But Tony's made that match because he wants to cause dissension amongst my team. But I think when it comes down to it, win or lose of the big 6-man match, I think all of our guys are going to be on the same page.
Sup, Brady McKee? That's a J-Mac from Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc podcast. Give them a check out as well. They love professional wrestling. Nancy said, "Don't write checks your butt can't cash, Kyle."
Nancy, honey, I'm telling you, come on down, buy your ticket, sit front row to that whooping that Stan Sierra's got coming.
Exactly.
And then when he's done crying over the butt whooping that I've put on him, you can go make him a sandwich.
That's right, because he loves to get his sandwiches made. But that's something that I'm looking forward to. But seeing how he's put them together like that, you can definitely tell what Andy Presley's thinking. He's thinking that putting them against each other like that is going to cause some problems.
Here's another thing we've not talked about with that match. So it's John Noble. His last match in Hazard is against Chris Michaels. Do you know where Chris Michaels started his wrestling career at? Down in Memphis, Tennessee, for a man by the name of Jerry Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett's father. So there's some connection there somewhere. Because I used to think a lot of Chris Michaels, and then he started pulling the crap he's pulled with John. I mean, heck, if he wanted a match with John, I feel like John's the type of guy that he's not going to back down from a challenge. You don't have to dress up in a hood and attack him. Just be a man, go up to him and say, "I want some." But obviously, Chris Michaels is similar to Stan Sierra. He's similar to Tony Presley. He's similar to a lot of people we know in a lot of ways.
Sure is. And, I was there the night that Chris Michaels first jumped John with the mask. And even I was thinking, who was this person? When he did unmask, I thought, Chris Michaels, how could you turn your back on people like that?
That's right. And let's keep talking about that 6-man tag match. So you've got a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yep.
You've got on his team in the 6-man tag match, you've got the Heat Seekers, 4-time NWA World Tag Team Champions. Let that sink in. There's no other tag team in the state of Kentucky with that type of pedigree. Nobody else has been world champions, not just once, but let alone 4 times.
Exactly.
Or 4 times, let alone once. There's no tag team in the state, and they're on Jeff Jarrett's team. And then you take a look at John Noble. John Noble is regarded by far as probably the best professional wrestler, or at least one of the best for sure, that's been in this state. He's a legend, and he's traveled all over. He's wrestled in other countries. So... And then on his team, take the prospector, Wes Barker, product of Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Right. Right there, it's a WWE connection. Marty, we all know, you've seen him on WWE programming. He's on that radar. So the talent that you have in that ring in this match, I don't know that you can find that caliber of talent anywhere.
Exactly.
And you're going to have it right here in Lexington. And we're not even talking about there's a double main event. Let's talk about the other main event. You got former ECW World Champion, former NWA World Champion, former WWE star, Rhino, coming back to AMW. Rhino's been here in AMW several times. He's making a home here in AMW, and he's taking on Big Rex.
That's right.
Big Rex, who is 6'8", 400 pounds, and just a monster of an athlete. And that 400 pounds is not like he's not, like he can't move around. No, Big Rex can get up and down and go. I have to give him his props. I don't like him. He he's a jackass, but he can get up and down and go. So, and, Rex, he's part of the box office Blondes. And let's talk about them. You got the Blondes, you got the Freelanders, you got the Kazanas. The Kazanas, who are taking on November 22nd, the Good Brothers.
Woo!
8-time world tag team champions, the Good Brothers, between New Japan, TNA, WWE. They're coming looking to be the AMW tag team champions.
Oh, yes, they are.
You've got those guys. You've got Grappling Inc. in there. You've got the Death World Order comes down. Oh, I'm sure I'm missing some tag team, but we are loaded with it. There's no other place in Kentucky, in Tennessee, Ohio, in the Southeast that has a tag team division like what goes on in AMW. There's not. AMW's tag team division in the last couple of years has grown, and it's been, it's one of the best divisions in all of wrestling.
Exactly. And a lot of people need to think about this. November 2nd, Lexington Ice Center. If you're someone from Lexington, Kentucky, this is the place to be, because Appalachain Mountain Wrestling is bringing to you the hottest product going right now in the state of Kentucky. You need to come out there and see it for yourself, because it's a hell of a lot of talent. Because you got Stan Sierra, you got Chase Emery, you got Handsome Bo James, you got Michael Joseph Zodiac.
Just go, look, start with Chase Emery. That man, he's all over the country right now. He wrestled out in Waterloo, Oklahoma a few months ago. He's down in Georgia. He's down in the Carolinas. Chase Emery is carving a name for himself in this sport all across the country. Murphy Costigan the same way. He's all over the country in this sport. Zodiac, as much as I don't like him anymore, as weird as he is too. I don't know what he's measuring with that tape measure, but I'm sure he don't need one that big. He's been a staple here in Cincinnati and northern Kentucky, and now eastern Kentucky and Ohio, other parts of Ohio, and just this area for years. Zodiac can get up and go too.
Exactly.
He's starting some weird little cult there with Evil Nate, and it's I don't know what's going on there, but we're not even talking about. Not even on this advertisement, you got one of the hottest free agents in Kentucky, Anthony Katina.
Yes.
If you've seen on Showdown last night, Tony Presley's trying to get him to be the fifth man in the War Games match.
Oh.
So, that would be a big blow, because Katina's a solid guy. He's great in the ring. He'd be a difficult one to deal with. He's got good striking ability. He's quicker than a hiccup, as some people would say. And then you got the Kentucky champions. He's not even on here. Marcus Johnson, he'll be there. Marcus. You could say whatever about Marcus, but it won't be bad, because that's how good Marcus Johnson is. You can't say a bad thing about him.
Exactly.
And that's another thing with AMW. There's so many people. It's hard to get them all on the advertisements. On all of our advertisements, it's so hard to get everybody on there.
That's right.
Because we have so many good people, top to bottom. So many good people. I just ate lunch with somebody, and they were talking about our roster and how deep it was, and not many people have a roster that deep, and they're not even talking local independent wrestling. They're talking about on a national level. When we tell people you need to get out to an AMW show, as I know, there's stuff I know, Johnny Lee, that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I can tell you this: smart. There's about 4 or 5 on the AMW roster that you probably won't see in a year. And it's not because they're going to quit. It's because they're going, there's as much as I can sit here and hype us up, there's still places bigger than us, and that's where they're going. And fortunately for us, and all the fans, they've got to experience them here.
That's right.
So I tell people all the time, you look at some of these guys, and some guys you've seen on SmackDown, and you better come out and see them live while you can, because at some point you're going to have to pay $800 or $1,000 a ticket to see these guys. You know, it's better come out while you can afford it.
Definitely.
Nobody afford those ticket prices they're charging
exactly. Now. I can't believe they're even doing that. Emily Rose said she's definitely going to be there November 2nd and 22nd.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And so is a lot of these people like Tyler Humphrey. He said Chris must have some stuff going on in his head because he's definitely been a different person here lately. Which is true because if he wanted to match with John Noble, he could have just went and asked for one like a man, but instead he chose to hide underneath a mask and attack John Noble during John Noble's most important matches.
That's right. Let's see who's. You're right, David. Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana used to be a hotbed. It still is. There's a lot of. I'm not just talking about AMW. There's a lot of good independent wrestling in Kentucky.
Sure is.
There's some bad.
Yep.
But there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good wrestlers. There's a lot of good wrestlers that don't wrestle at AMW. So, and you know, the way we keep wrestling hot is to go support it.
Yep.
Go support it. Go find you a guy, a wrestler, or two or three that you really like, and follow them to wherever they're going. Or if you like a brand, like AMW, you like a brand like USWF, you like a brand like UCW, TCW, EWA, you like a brand like those or any of the others, go watch them.
That's right.
I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you only come watch AMW, but you need to come watch AMW. But
that's right.
You go support all these guys. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, Johnny Lee, at these wrestling shows, there's only so many spots because there's only so many matches.
Exactly.
Not everybody can be on every show. So, you know, guys are working other places than AMW, and I'm not going to tell you not to support them because you should.
Exactly.
Support independent pro wrestling because if independent pro wrestling's good, WWE will be good. I promise you. WWE's not going to miss a beat. They're always going to make money. These guys, that's everybody's dream to get there and make some money and make a living full time at it. And if you're not supporting their independent shows, if you're not going out and buying their merch, if you're not paying for their autographs, or you're not taking selfies with them, you know, they don't stand as good a chance. So they need your support.
Because they're the most important thing. A lot of people don't realize this, but for me, I consider independent wrestling to be the new type of territories. Because whereas the territories died, you got independent wrestling to keep that dream alive. For those that can't make it to somewhere like WWE or AEW or TNA, you got AMW, you got
that's right.
UCW, you got all these big.
If you don't go out and support these ones with affordable ticket prices, I mean, WWE comes to Rupp Arena or the Yum Center or up there. What's the arena in Cincinnati? You know, they come to those places, but you know, you're playing $200 or $300 just for a cheap seat up in the upper arena. So, I mean, get out and support the local ones if you like to watch live wrestling. So,
especially because if you go to the local ones, the wrestlers, they will interact with you. When you're at a WWE show or AEW show, you're only going to get interacted with maybe once in a blue moon. But at a local show, the wrestler's going to let you know, I hate your guts, or if they're a baby face, they're going to be showing you love. So get out there and show them love, because that's how you support local wrestling.
You're right, David. The MWA disbanded years ago. I wrestled there back in the late or early late 2000s. I always get confused that first decade of the 2000s how to denote it. Wrestled there through probably the mid 2010 some. We wrestled in Winchester. I particularly wrestled in Winchester and Mount Sterling. They had left Georgetown by the time I got a chance to start wrestling for them. But Dirty Chris Hayes, he owned it and ran it at the time, and it was
a good man.
It was a great spot. It was a great place to work. It was hot, most of the time that I was there. So made a lot of good friends. A lot of good people that wrestled there.
Exactly. And we've had Dirty Chris Hayes inside the studio last year.
Oh, I thought he was dead.
Oh, you thought that he's dead?
No, he just don't come out.
Oh, he don't?
No, he just don't come out.
It's hard to get that man to come out anywhere now.
You can't get him out. But, if you want to ask NWA stories, you got two people to talk to in Rated X and Bobby Blade. Those two can tell you MWA stories from way back.
Sure can.
And
not only that, but you're also going to be hearing Rated X on commentary for every AMW showdown.
Well, unfortunately, Bobby Blade's there too, sporting his New South crap.
Oh, man. I can't believe that Bobby Blade would do that. Then again, I expected no less because Bobby Blade always has.
We taped our last two episodes of Showdown in Jenkins, Kentucky, and in front of probably the biggest wrestling crowd Jenkins has ever had. And, I was hoping on the way down Bobby would get lost in the mountains.
Yeah.
But he rode with Aaron Rhodes, and Aaron's our producer. He produces the TV show, and without him, it wouldn't be as good as it is.
Yeah.
So I can't ask Bobby Blade to get lost without Aaron probably getting lost with him.
True.
So we got to have Aaron. I mean, we just got to have Aaron. Hopefully next time Bobby comes down to the mountains, he'll get lost.
David Linville said, Chris Hayes, I heard, was into real estate now, I think. Oh, she loves New South Man as well, Emily said. She said, I may be on the wrong side, but I love New South Man. But she also loves interacting with the wrestlers the most.
Well, that's okay. I can put her on the list with security and have her banned from the building.
Nancy said, I would rather attend an independent wrestling show than a WWE show. Not because of the ticket prices, but the shows are so much better. I have made so many friends, including you, Kyle.
Oh, well, bless your heart, Nancy.
I
I won't pick on you no more just because you said that. I still will tell you that Stan sucks, though.
You could have asked Aaron to just drop Bobby Blade off somewhere and tell him that that's the venue and then drive off.
Or they could have stopped for gas and Bobby went into the bathroom and him just drove off.
Exactly.
That's happened to somebody I know before.
Exactly. Because it's awful funny he chooses that side instead of supporting AMW. I mean, you thought that he was come there to show love to AMW, and what does he do? As soon as he sees Anthony Presley doing his thing, he's like, oh, I'll put my eggs inside that man's basket. Screw AMW.
Yeah. And, that's Stan's been around since 97, 98, maybe 99, maybe even 95, 96. He's been around a minute. So, I mean, you don't stay around and stay on top like Stan has and all these years. And
exactly.
without being willing to stab your buddies in the back. That's, Stan's out for Stan, plain and simple. And
that's right. He saw inside of his mind the winning team, and that's what he did. He joined them.
The thing about it is he's been a big part of AMW, but he's been a big part of wrestling in the state of Kentucky. He's one of the best wrestlers, and I'll give him his flowers. He's one of the best wrestlers in the state of Kentucky, and, I mean, probably in state of Kentucky history. I mean, there was a stretch that he was simply the best and nobody could touch him. And, I can say, for as much bad as I can say about Stan, I could probably say equally as good, but I'm not going to because he doesn't deserve that.
Exactly.
Stan's a jackass. And like I said, it's going to be pretty good when I pin him in that War Games match.
Especially because he made it personal. Before, you were just hoping to get rid of New South, and then this man decided to go and make everything personal because that's what Stan does. He doesn't have to leave that just wanting to hate on you. No, he wants to make everything personal for himself and for New South.
He'll tell you he's been AMW champion 5 times, but you know who's beat him 3 of the 4 losses, or 3 of the 5 losses he's had? That's right. So, it's like I told him on AMW Showdown last night on YouTube, 7 o'clock. Go subscribe. It's free.
That's right.
I told him on there. I'd keep that in the back of his head because it's happened before and it'll happen again.
And he's got to remember, if you've beaten them 3 times, that means that a 4th time could be right around the corner.
That's right. But, and they Tony's only released our two main events for Lexington. He's not released what match Stan's in yet. So, hell, he may give Stan the night off. He just might let Stan come out there and parade him around the ring like he's a ring girl holding up that title.
Exactly.
What he don't know is nobody wants to see him in a bikini. So, it's a big cage match. The War Games, we got 2 rings and a big cage around them both. He'll probably give Stan the night off just so he can get ready for that ass whooping I want to give him.
And I was there for the last year's War Games match, and that was a hell of a match. I think that people are in for a surprise on November 22nd when it's all said and done, because that cage match does take a lot out of you, because that's not just any cage match. That's a War Games. That's where 2 teams have to wait until all parties are in that match before it actually starts. But before that, it's any man's game. You're tearing each other apart before the bell finally rings to allow the match to start.
That's right. And, we've had 2 of them in AMW history. And, who's been in both of them?
You.
You know whose teams won both of them?
You.
You know who had to win in pinfall last year?
You.
Well, that's all I'm saying. I've been on a team the first time we did it. First time we had War Games, Stan Sierra was on a team, and, well, he wasn't on my team, and like I said, I'm undefeated. My team's undefeated. Stan right. Sierra got beat then. Last year, Stan Sierra's team won, but whose team was he on?
He was on your team.
That's all I know. That's all I'm saying. If you're a betting man at home, I wouldn't bet against Kyle Maggard.
Exactly. And plus, he's got to remember, you've beaten him. There's history there. You've got those 3 wins on him.
Mm-hmm.
So what does he expect to happen when him and you meet face-to-face in that War Games match?
And there will be a time in that War Games match, I promise you right now, me and Stan Sierra will square off.
And he's bound to bleed if you're waiting to do it.
Yep, and I hope Nancy's got a front row seat for it and she's got her camera out.
And the reason why Andy Presley is waiting to release those matches, I have a feeling that he's making sure that he's going to keep it close to his chest before he releases all of what you're going to see November 2nd. Because Andy Presley, he's the type of snake, he's going to keep staying fresh because he don't want to get Stan getting a beating and suffering before the War Games match. He's going to make sure that every match that he's making is going to be the best match on the card. And you got to keep your eyes peeled to the AMW page to find out who's all on the card.
Well, the biggest thing they need to do, Johnny Lee, is they need to head over to amwrestling.com and get their tickets while they can.
Sure do.
Get over to amwrestling.com. And, big shout out to Matt's Games, Collectibles, and More right off Winchester Road over here in which shopping center is it? This is your turf.
The Eastland Shopping Center.
The Eastland Shopping Center, just really close to the Roses. Roses was the stuff when I was a kid in Hazard. That's where I got all the good toys at.
Hell yeah!
But go over there and see Matt and buy something in his store, support his store. He supports independent professional wrestling. He supports Appalachian Mountain Wrestling.
Sure does.
So we need to keep him open.
And he enjoyed his time at the AMW show for Fire's Day, because he was coming up to me saying how amazing it was to be there. I agree.
Real quick, on the War Games show in Hazard on the 22nd, let's give a shout out to Mountain Therapy there in Hazard. They always take care of us. They're a good sponsor down there. And a good friend of mine who's helping us out with this show in Lexington, old Donnie P. Good shout out to Donnie P.
Hell yeah.
Donnie Prater. So shout out to him.
And that's what it's all about, because you give shouts to all the people that supports AMW. Shout out to the people that supports local independent professional wrestling, because without independent professional wrestling, there would not be professional wrestling, because WWE and that, they're not going to be inviting you to come there, they want your money. But yes, every company does want money. But here's the thing: not every company is going to be asking you to pay $300 or $3,000 to get your asses there. Local independent wrestling, though, they're going to be telling you, hey, you come to us, you're not only going to get to pay cheaper, but you're going to be seeing the greatest wrestling that you've ever witnessed. Because you guys, y'all see that WWE stuff, and y'all think, oh, this is wrestling. No. Before there was a WWE, before there was any other type of wrestling, there was wrestling that existed way before that. From the territory days to independent wrestling right now. You guys need to do yourselves a favor and make sure that you get out to AMW November 2nd. Because I'm telling you right now, you're doing a disservice to yourself if you've never been to an AMW show.
And that's right. So come out, support us. Like I said, support all them other independent wrestling organizations around here we talked about. If you're watching and you're in the Nashville area, Saturday night, you can see Jarrett and the Heat Seekers in action at Jeff Jarrett's Grand Slam event. So you can get on My World Podcast, check that out. Tomorrow night, if you're watching from the Detroit area, get on the Thriller or get on YouTube, check out IWR Insane Wrestling, and check out Rhino's promotion up there. He's got some matches on this Thursday, I believe, and it's their Monsters Ball event. It's going to be a big event. There's some familiar faces on that. Tom Latimer, the NWA World Champion, who wrestled John Noble in Hyden. Their match went into the Mountain Sports Hall of Fame, placed on display at the Hall of Fame building in Wayland, Kentucky. That's a big deal. All the top athletes in the mountains. Johnny Lee, you're talking about Tim Couch and King Kelly Coleman and all these other great athletes.
Sure.
We got guys in there that are MLB umpires, all the way. The list goes on and on. High school greats, collegiate greats, professional greats that come out of the mountains, and they recognize that match and the significance of that match and the significance of John Noble being the only Eastern Kentucky wrestler to compete for the longest and most recognizable world championship in the history of the sport, and that's the NWA World Title. So they put that match on display. They've got a nice display. They've got a replica title. They've got a big picture from the event. They've got the event poster. So that's a pretty big deal. We're proud of that. Not many other wrestlers, promotions, matches are going into non-wrestling Hall of Fames. You know what I mean? So that's a big deal, and we hope that it brings awareness to other great wrestling that happens in the state and all that. But but we'll finish and we'll talk about Lexington. It's going to be a great night again. Meet and greet from 4 to 6. Jeff Jarrett, who does not, let me repeat to people out there, Jeff Jarrett does not do independent wrestling shows that often, and he only does a select few of independent wrestling shows. Jeff is a legit megastar.
Sure is.
He is a legit megastar. He held the WCW World Title. He's held the NWA World Title. He is the guy that, he was as hot as it could be in 2000 when he left WWF for WCW. He was probably one of the hottest stars behind Steve Austin and The Rock. And it was Jeff Jarrett. And he'll be in Lexington, Kentucky, not with the WWE, not with AEW, not with TNA. He'll be there with AMW. And again, this is an opportunity for people to see Jeff at an affordable price that you're not going to see him anywhere else. You're not going to see him anywhere, nowhere else that's close. and you're going to get to see him. Not only meet him, but he's going to wrestle. He is going to compete in the AMW ring. I can't stress that. The opportunity to see him, to come out and meet him live.
That's right.
But 4 to 6, the VIP guys, you get in at 4 o'clock. Ringside, you get in at 4:30. General admission, you get in at 5. Once you get in, based on the time you get in, that's when you get an opportunity to line up. If you choose not to line up, don't wait till 5:55 and go over and get in the back of the line and say, well, I had VIP tickets. I thought I got to meet him. Well, you had an opportunity. You wouldn't sit down. Go wait in line. Go get in line, and there's your opportunity. Some people don't take advantage of it like they should, Johnny Lee.
They sure.
But, then again, for those, if you never have, and Rhino has been with AMW a lot. He's been with AMW more than he's been with a lot of independent promotions. He'll be in there. I can't stress how great of an opportunity it is to meet a guy like Rhino, a star in his own right, a superstar in his own right. Wrestled for ECW, wrestled for the WWE, he's wrestled for TNA, he's wrestled, now he's had a match in AEW, he's wrestled in the NWA, he wrestled Tom Latimer like John Noble did the NWA World title. And again, he's a former NWA World Champion, he's a former ECW World Champion, he's a former WWF Hardcore Champion, first ever SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. He is a legit megastar too. I mean, you get an opportunity to meet not one but two, and to see them both wrestle. Where are you going to see that at?
Exactly.
Where are you going to see that at? And they're still relevant. They're both still on national TV. They both still make national TV appearances. They both still appearing weekly. Jeff is a weekly on AEW programming.
Sure is.
AEW considered the number 2 promotion in the world. He's on there weekly. So, and then I'm sure that Tony Presley will release more matches of what's going on in the coming days, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll try to put me in a match. He'll probably try to have me wrestle somebody in some stupid stipulation. You know how Tony is.
Exactly.
But I mean, and we're gearing up for the biggest night of wrestling AMW has to offer. It is. I dare anybody to prove me wrong. On November 22nd, it is the biggest event in Kentucky wrestling. Period. Last year we had over 1,200 people in a very small space, and thank the Lord we knew the fire marshal.
Exactly.
And the way tickets are selling now, we may have to move it. That's how big this event is. And then you got the Good Brothers. You name me the last time the Good Brothers wrestled for an independent promotion in this state or close to this state. And they're not, they're wrestling, and they're wrestling for the AMW tag team titles. They're winning tag team gold everywhere. It's like they're belt collectors. Could that happen? Could they take the AMW titles with them to Japan, Mexico, Canada? The Heat Seekers took the AMW tag team titles to Canada. Well, they took them to Canada and they took them to Japan.
Nice. Oh. And not to mention, but they're going to be taking on another great tag team in the Country Gentlemen, who are holding those AMW titles right now.
Country Gentlemen, former NWA United States tag team champions, trained by what many consider the greatest trainer in Dr. Tom Pritchard.
That's right.
So, I mean, when you start talking about who's who and what a great group of wrestlers, like again, people watching, I can't implore you enough to check out AMW. Go to our YouTube channel. You can go back and watch all of our great events. You can go back and check out all of our episodes of AMW Showdown. New episodes Tuesday nights at 7, folks. But you can go back. You can check out the Weekend of Champions. You can check out the Bluegrass Brawl. You can check out Summer Bash. You can check out all the other Thanksgiving turmoils. You can check out last year's. Heck, we wasn't even expecting it. He was just there signing autographs, and the Godfather rose out with one of his hoes. I mean, dang, anything can happen at an AMW event. Like we said this last time we were in Lexington, Carlito out of nowhere, nobody knew. He became a free agent. Where's the first place he goes? First place he goes.
AMW.
AMW. I mean, you know.
And that was huge because Carlito had just been released from WWE, and where did he show up? He showed right up here in Lexington, Kentucky for Appalachain Mountain Wrestling. And that was one big, huge thing because not only that, he also spit an apple in Anthony Presley's face and took out Stan Sierra. That was huge. None of us expect that. I didn't expect that. When I saw him, I was like, what? Because that was amazing.
David, you're talking about the top 5 giants in wrestling. Do we classify Hulk Hogan as a giant? I know he was 6'7". I would have Andre and Big Show on there. Hard for me not to have Undertaker on there.
True.
I like Big John Studd, but if you look at his impact on the wrestling business, maybe Kevin Nash goes on there before Big John Studd. I don't know that we can classify Hulk Hogan as a big man, though at 6'7" and 330 pounds. That's a pretty big dude.
Sure is.
You know, you got me thinking here. Kane, man, the mayor down there, Glenn Jacobs, dang. You know, that's a hard snub right there. Don't have Kane in it.
I know, right?
Yeah, I got Kane over Great Khali. I got Undertaker over Great Khali. I got Kevin Nash over Great Khali. Khali was huge, but
he did not have the impact that they did.
He didn't. I don't. Not for me. I mean, but that's the thing about wrestling and these lists. And it's, you know, you talk about the greatest NBA players or NFL players or whatever. It's everybody's personal preference. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with that list. That's a pretty solid list. I would just have a couple different guys, and I don't know that we can classify Hulk Hogan as a giant.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. And he said he is bigger than the Undertaker. Which one are you talking about, Kane or Great Khali?
I know you ain't talking about Hogan. Hogan ain't bigger than the Undertaker.
Exactly, because Hogan was 6'7", and then he shrunk down to 6'3".
Now Studd was bigger than Hogan. That's what I'm saying. A lot of Hogan's opponents. There was a lot of, you know, like King Kong Bundy. I don't know how tall Bundy was, but he was wide. Do we consider him a giant? So what do we do? Okay, Dave agrees.
But yeah, remember, guys, this has been the AMW Hour with Kyle Maggard.
The AMW Hour with Kyle Maggard. Oh,
that's right.
Oh, we might be going down a rabbit hole, Johnny Lee. You might see me pop up with the AMW Hour. Heck, I might call it something else, or just the Hour with Kyle Maggard. Now,
that's
how many
right.
people would tune in to see that?
They would tune in a lot to see that, because you got the voice for it. I've noticed that just listening to you talk, you got the voice for it.
Hogan is bigger than who, David?
Also, Kane was billed as being bigger than Undertaker, but the reality was that Taker was actually taller than him because Kane had to wear boot lifts.
I can tell you, Kane's a pretty tall dude. Me and him
we
did a signing together in Pikeville a few years ago. We were side by side, and we sat over and talked for forever. And
he made you look smaller.
He did, and I'm 6'3", so he's a big dude.
He is, especially when they're guys like that, because Kane and Taker, Nice Kane said, both of them were of identical height, 6'7", 8. During their peak, Kane was at least 25, 30 pounds heavier Taker himself said that on a podcast. Kane's had an extra inch on his boots. That made him look tired. Yes.
Now, hold on, Andy. We're talking wrestling heights here. So Kane and Undertaker were both 6'11", all right?
Yep.
Whatever you type in there is just completely wrong. You got to learn about like I'm 6'7" in wrestling terms.
Exactly. Like when they were building Undertaker and Kane, I remember the first time that they had Kane and Undertaker standing across from each other at WrestleMania 14, they built Kane as 7 foot tall, and Undertaker was 6'11".
I got you there, David, but did you know that everybody slammed Andre? Hogan, that wasn't the first time that ever happened.
Exactly.
Ronnie Garvin, when we talk about, you want to go back to territory wrestling, Ronnie Garvin, him and Randy Macho Man Savage, the two hottest guys in ICW, which is a staple in Kentucky wrestling history. By standards back in the day, it was considered an outlaw promotion, but to many wrestling fans and to many wrestlers, and John O will be one of them, they grew up on ICW wrestling. They grew up with those guys, and they're heroes to them. But Ronnie Garvin slammed Andre the Giant several times in several different matches over the years. Andre would let a lot of people slam him in a lot of different places. You just didn't see it because they weren't televised. Exactly. Everything today is recorded on somebody's phone somewhere, so it all gets put out there. I think that's why they quit doing house shows in WWE. Plus, just less time wrestling, giving the wrestlers time to rest, all that good stuff.
That's right.
But my point is as far as capturing Andre being slammed, it didn't happen a lot. But go YouTube Andre the Giant and Ronnie Garvin. It's happened plenty of times.
It sure did, because Andre Giant being slammed by Hogan may have been the most popularized version. But before Hogan ever slammed him, you had guys like Hardy Race that slammed. You had guys like Ronnie Garvin. The list goes on and on. Hogan slammed him even before the WrestleMania 3 match.
Oh, yeah, Hogan. I mean, WrestleMania 3 was Andre's swan song. I mean, he struggled. You watch the match, Hogan pretty much carried him through the match. He struggled. And but I mean he'd been slammed well before that, and I get what you're saying. It's the first time you'd seen him be slammed, so that's cool. It's a cool moment. I told somebody today, wrestling's all about moments. People don't remember matches. They may remember matches, but they remember moments in matches. Johnny Lee.
Exactly.
Every match that what's your favorite match, Johnny Lee?
It is WrestleMania 25, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, because so many moments in that match.
Well, what do you remember from it?
I remember the moment where Taker dives over the ropes and crashes down, and it could have been a match over right there because he could not get back to the ring because he was down and out. And then just when I thought that was over, he gets up and he gets back inside the ring like nothing happened, and they continue for yet another banger. That was a wild moment.
Well, and also, I remember Shawn Michaels coming down with the halo and wearing the white to Undertaker's black, where he was going with I'm the light and Undertaker's the darkness. But, they do that because they're making moments. That's what that's the stuff people remember. It's like I was talking to somebody today about, we ended up talking about Triple H and Sting, and then you had Kevin Nash and Scott Hall coming down wearing NWO stuff, and they're Triple H's friends. But it don't matter because that's a moment they made between NWO and DX. Exactly. No one really remembers the end of the match. It's like Rocky. All right, Rocky and Rocky 1. Who won the match? Who won the fight?
It was Apollo Creed.
It was Apollo Creed, but you don't remember that because you're all caught up in the story. You're caught up.
Right.
You're caught up in the moment of Rocky going the distance.
Exactly, because that was the whole point of the movie. It wasn't about him winning.
David, I don't know off the top of my head if Jerry did. You got to remember back in the 70s, Andre was like the hottest thing in wrestling. So, like in the territories, there's two things that you wanted to have. The biggest night in wrestling was Thanksgiving night everywhere around the world. The second biggest night in wrestling was Christmas night. And they would pack the buildings in droves. And there's one of two things that you needed to have on your card in order for the show to be successful and everybody make a lot of money. One was the NWA World Champion. Two, Andre the Giant.
That's right.
So, and if you were a wrestler in whichever one of those shows they were on, whether it was in Bill Watts' territory, whether it was in Georgia, whether it was in Florida, whether it was in the Carolinas, whether it was in Memphis, whether it was out at the Sportatorium in Texas, whether it was up in Portland, if you knew where Andre was or you knew where the NWA World Champion was and you could go wherever you wanted, you went to wherever they was. Because the house was going to be up, money was going to be up, everybody was going to eat good.
That's right. And we be on here now.
Yep. Yeah, and that's my cue because I got to go back to Hazard to a little pregnant lady who is ready to pop. She had her pumpkin shirt on today. She was like the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm going to put it over right here. So she's watching. I've got a 2-hour drive home. Yeah. So she might calm down by then. But real quick, so here's the shimmy again, guys. November the 2nd at the Lexington Ice Center, out there off Eureka Drive. There's 2 big signs in the front of it. So, I mean, unless something happens to them, and Johnny Lee's going to be watching them for those still signs. He's going to be out there. He's leaving right now. He's going to set up camp until 2 Sundays from now.
That's right.
Yeah. He's got a concealed carry, too. He's packing. But Sunday, November the 2nd, 4 to 6, all the great stars of AMW. I mean, it's a loaded roster with some of the best young wrestlers that are going places that you may not have a chance to see. And you never know when they get called up. You know, when their number's called, they're gone. You never know when it's coming. But you got some of the best young wrestlers. You've got some of the greatest veterans of the sport in the state and the surrounding states, like John Noble, Stan Sierra, who I, again, don't like, asshole. You got the best tag team division that you'll see, the deepest tag team division that you'll see anywhere. I mean, these are legit tag teams. These aren't just 2 guys thrown together to have a tag team match. These are legit tag teams who have won legit tag team gold. Again, they've won world championships. They have won big-time regional championships. They've defended the big-time regional championships in other countries. So, and then, you've got 2 megastars that... Rhino, who's been an AMW regular pretty much, you got an opportunity to see him again against the guy. And the Rhino is a big dude.
He sure is.
He's about 6'1", 6'2", but he is built like a freaking tank. I mean, he is broad as he is long. And I've been hit with the gore before, and the gore hurts. I can promise you, the gore hurts. And the question is, can he hit 6'8", 400+ pounds of big Rex with that gore? That's the question. Can the man beast do it? I mean, you can go back and watch his highlights on ECW putting people through. I watched him do a pile driver off the ropes through the table outside of the ring on somebody. Can he do that to Big Rex? I don't know, but that is going to be a banger of a match. And then, the other main event, because it's a double main event, one of the biggest tag team matches that you will find. You got Heat Seekers, 4-time world tag team champions, teaming up with a megastar, the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett, former WCW world champion, former NWA world champion, former Intercontinental champion, former WCW and WWF tag team champions. WWE Hall of Famer. His list goes on and on. The guy who he can pick and choose where he wants to go, Johnny Lee, and he picked and he chose to come to AMW.
That's right.
He's going not just be there signing autographs. He's going to be wrestling. I mean, this is an opportunity, and I can't stress it to everybody out there. This is an opportunity. If you're a wrestling fan, you're within driving distance, or if you're not within driving distance and you need to fly, you need to
make
get
that trip
here. I can promise you need to get here. And doors open at 4 o'clock for the VIPs, 4:30 for the ringside, 5 o'clock for the general admission. That gives you ample time to meet these guys, get your picture with them, autographs, whatever if you don't take the opportunity when you get in there to do that, hey, that's on you. Is all I can say. It was sold out last time we were there on Father's Day, and we had a great card then, but this card is better. This card is better, and we were sold out then. They're talking about moving us to a different spot in the building so we can have more room. Half the VIP ticket. Well, no, almost all the VIP tickets are gone. So get on AMWrestling.com, our website. Get on AMWrestling.com. The link is on there. Majority of the ringside are almost gone. At least half of the ringside are almost gone. Get your tickets now.
Before it's all gone.
Yeah, I can't stress. Get there now. See these guys live. Not just Jeff Jarrett, not just Rhino, but all the great wrestlers that we have. Majority of those great wrestlers you won't see anywhere else close to here. You just won't. But here's your opportunity. Don't be like, well, I should have seen him. Now he's on Monday Night Raw. Now he's on SmackDown. Now he's on NXT. He's got an ID deal, and he's in the Bahamas for Mark Henry. I mean, I get other stuff may be going on, but this is when you make time. This is a big deal.
Skippy.
This is a big deal. You make time. And if you can't get out to us, get out and support the other independent pro wrestling. Get out and support independent pro wrestling as a whole. Get out. All these guys, they bust their ass day in, day out. This is what they want to do. They all train hard. They want to be the best they can be. They need your support. Independent wrestling needs your support. That's what keeps the lights on. Without
That's
you,
right.
We're not WWE. We're not a big corporate thing. We don't have all the sponsors. Our sponsors are great. Shout out to Matt's Games and Collectibles again, and our buddy Donnie P. Without those guys and without the fans, there is no great independent pro wrestling. So if you don't come support the show, the chances are the show's not around or the show don't come back. So
that's right.
You got to go support the show, guys.
Exactly. Guys, thank y'all for joining us tonight. It's been a great night of talking AMW and the Ice Center that's happening November 2nd. So, guys.
Hold on, Johnny Lee. Jacob Ratliff, I'm a Smoky Mountain guy.
Hell
I like watching Smoky. That's where I live. I live in the Kentucky territory of Smoky Mountain. That's where Appalachain Mountain Wrestling primary holds its events. So I'm a Smoky Mountain guy when I go back and watch old territory stuff. I'm a big Jim Cornette fan. I think he's a great mind. He's a little eccentric, but we all are. So,
that's right.
But take us home, Johnny Lee.
But guys, thank you for tuning in. Guys has been commenting. Thank y'all. Andrew, yes, Tony is a big crybaby is what Andrew want me to tell you.
That's exactly right.
He said, do that for me, Johnny. Tell Kyle Maggard that Tony is a whiny baby, which he is. But guys, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. It's been a hell of a show, and all I gotta say is if you ain't having fun, you ain't getting none. Damn Skippy. Yeet yeet.
Nice guy, Andy podcast. Anyways,
that was a
you
good
got
podcast.